Good afternoon, welcome to the channel. My name is Beena and this lovely little fella here is of course the delightful Walter. Hope you are well. It is Saturday the something, I'm going to say the 5th, I think it's the 5th of July. It is 5th of July 2025. It is, despite all appearances, really humid and I have not worn the right jacket. I thought it's like 10 degrees cooler than it has been, than it was the day before, and I thought I'll just wear my summer jacket here, my green riding shirt, because that'll be fine and appropriate, and it's very windy and I am sweating like a sweaty thing in a sweat box. I wish I'd have worn my perforated jacket now. Never mind. It's about 23 degrees I think, so not that warm at all, but it's really humid. I've not been around for a couple of weeks doing videos, and that's because we've had a couple of back-to-back heat waves here in the UK, and it's just been too bloody hot to go out on my bike and do anything. And because it's been so hot, obviously not been sleeping particularly well, because my house is like a furnace at night time. Good old British houses that in the winter are freezing cold, and you put your heating on all day and it gets nice and toasty, and then you turn it off and within an hour it goes, well, that's all gone now, you're cold again. And yet in the summer it manages to take all that heat from outside and amplify it by about 1,000 degrees and then hold on to it for a few days for you. So yeah, it's been like 35 degrees Celsius in my bedroom of a night time. So yeah, pretty uncomfortable. So not a lot of sleep being had by a lot of people across the UK, I think. Although I did invest in a standalone air conditioning unit for my bedroom, so I could at least put that on a couple of hours before I went to bed, so it's nice and cool, just to give me enough time to go to sleep, so that before it heats up again. But yeah, anyway, I haven't done any videos because too knackered to ride, too hot to ride. But I've been desperate to get out on Walter here, and I went out for a little poodle on him yesterday, just to the local shops, and then today I thought I'm going to get out because unfortunately it's going to rain this weekend. I had a little shower this morning, so tomorrow a bit more prolonged rain, I think. Oh, excuse me. So it's my last chance before next weekend, when we're forecast another heat wave. Honestly, as Brits, we're never happy. We moan when it's cold and raining, we moan when it's hot and sunny. So I haven't really got a lot to talk about. He says, starting his video in exactly the same way that it starts absolutely every video, moaning about the weather and then saying he's got nothing to talk about. But I really haven't. So we'll just waffle incessantly about any old crap for half an hour and see what comes out, shall we? Yesterday I was a little bit mean to Walter, and I'm sorry Walter, because I love you very much. But yesterday when I went out on my first ride that I'd had in like a week, like I say, just to the shop, but it was through out of my village and along some nice twisty country roads to go to the local service station to get some bits, and I thought it'd be a nice little blast along there. And I got stuck in traffic both ways doing 35 mile an hour in a 60, which I find infuriating at the best of times anyway, but especially so when I haven't been out on my bike for a week. It feels like a wasted opportunity. And on the way back I had a couple of opportunities where if I had a little bit more than 20 horsepower I could have overtaken the slow moving car in front and made a bit of progress, but alas, as we know, these poor 350s don't have the oomph to do that. So I was lamenting a little bit at that point, thinking, oh Walter, if only you had an extra 20 horsepower, we could have done that one. I mean, it's very few and far between when you think that. I don't know about other people who have these Enfield 350s, but it's very rare when I think that, because for the most part I'm just bimbling around country roads, just having a nice time, enjoying the view, not really caring how fast I'm going. And if I want to make progress, I'm usually on tight, twisty country roads, which are probably a hell of a lot more enjoyable on a bike with 20 horsepower than a bike with 120. In fact, I know that because I had one with like 110, 109 horsepower, I think, my Street Triple Her. I can't remember, someone will no doubt correct me in the comments on that one. So yeah, for the most part, it's not a real problem. But there are just occasions, just every now and then, you think, oh God, I wish you had the power of one of the parallel twins, or one of the water-cooled singles from the Enfield range. So it's usually overtaking and dual carriageway and motorway work. So I have done the dual carriageway and the motorway on Walter here, and it was alright. You just sort of kind of sit in the inside lane with all the lorries, but it would be nice to be able to make a bit more progress. But there we go. What can you do, eh? So yeah, I'm sorry Walter, I badmouthed you a little bit yesterday, didn't I? I'm sure I give you a lot more compliments than I do criticism though. Let's not fall out. Fuck me, mate! What the fuck? You fucking blind! Fuck's sake! Dickhead! Fucking wanker! And there you go, folks. There's an absolute cunt on the road. Didn't even fucking look where he's going. Got it on camera, mate! What a prick. Well, that got the blood pumping and boiling simultaneously. Let us calm and enjoy our favourite road, which will hopefully be free from absolute fuck nuggets like that. And kite, and kite, and kite. This is the road that I saw, I think it's 30 kites down here one day. I wonder why. I wonder if there's a feeding station or something. Oh, it's very low, that one. Right, we are calm again. We are calm. Apologies for the language, everyone, but I'm sure you'll understand. When some twat like that decides to pull out of junction without looking properly. Now, for those of you who ride motorbikes, I'm sure you might agree with me here that this one doesn't have 6 gears, so I shouldn't try and pull the 6 gear. I find that riding a bike actually makes you a better car driver, because it makes you so much more aware of more vulnerable people on the road. motorcycles, cyclists. Certainly does with me. Makes me drive much more carefully. Clearly not that bloke. Oh, that was a big bug that just hit my windscreen. I think that scared me more than the bloke pulling out on me. Oh, it's right in my vision as well. But yeah, I think I did say once, I don't know whether I said it on this channel, I've definitely said it to either a friend or family member, that I almost think that everyone should have to do like a CBT. If you don't know what CBT is, compulsory basic training for if you want to be able to ride like a moped or a bike under 125 and under in the UK. You have to do a day's compulsory basic training so you can ride on a learner plate. I think that everyone should have to do that and do a road test on a bike so that you can see just how vulnerable we can be, just how shit other drivers can be on the road. Might make people think twice. Actually, that used to be a public safety slogan in the UK many years ago about bikes. It was think once, think twice, think bike. Don't see those switches. Well, I don't know, you might see those. I don't really watch terrestrial TV much anymore. I tend to only watch Netflix and recorded shows and forward past all the adverts, or watch YouTube. Go down here. This isn't closed, is it? No. Actually, know where that goes. Yeah, there used to be a lot of public safety adverts on. One of the weirdest in the UK was I don't know who was funding this. Well, it's obviously a government one, but it was about the dangers of putting a rug on a polished floor, and it had like this domestic scene of I think it was like some old lady or something. I might be misremembering this, but it was I'm sure it was an old lady or something, and had a polished floor and put a rug on it in her hallway and then slipped over. And the tagline was something like putting a rug on a polished floor, you may as well be setting a man trap. Like, really? And it did make me wonder, even as a child. I thought, is there really that many accidents and deaths due to mats and polished floors that warrant a public safety announcement for it? Clearly there were thousands used to die a year in the UK alone just from polished floor incidents. The kite. Also, I'm just reflecting on that near miss with that car, and just want to say sorry about the road rage after that. Again, hopefully you will understand why. The red mist descended a little bit there. I'm not one for road rage. It's always a bit pointless, but sometimes just can't help yourself, can you? And that bloke, He made a genuine mistake, obviously, no doubt. He didn't see me, although he should have definitely been more observant. He may have been a little bit scared and intimidated at that. I fucking hope so. It's funny actually, isn't it, how people lose their absolute mind when it comes to being in their car and being on the road. I've seen some people just act absolutely ridiculously due to road rage incidents, and there's kinds of people who have thought, Jesus Christ, if that person that you're going off on comes out of their car, gets out of their car and confronts you, you're dead. I remember seeing well, there was a couple of incidents I've been involved in, just coming back to my house, just in a car. Again, I had someone pull out in front of me, so as well I was in my car, and they pulled out in front of me from a junction on a 60 mile an hour bend on a country road. I must have been doing 50 miles an hour, and they pulled out right in front of me without looking, just like that guy. And I had to slam my brakes on and go into the opposite side of the road, and it was on a bend, so I could have hit oncoming traffic, and I was furious. Obviously, honked my horn, and the person in the car was some sort of middle-aged woman, just stuck her finger up at me and drove off. And at that point my blood went absolutely 100 degrees. And I thought, yeah, if I'd have been a crazier dude, you could have been in a lot of trouble there. Are we going this way? Yeah. And the other one was, again, a middle-aged woman with her elderly mother in the car, and she was going through again the country roads leading up to my village, all around the twisty bits, and she was doing about 25 miles an hour, and it's a 60, and I thought, oh well, you know, fair enough, she's got her old mum in the car, she maybe doesn't know the roads, I'll keep a respectable distance, which I did. And then when it came to the straight, there's a kind of a long straight just before my village, I thought, well, I'll overtake now, because clearly she wants to go slow, and so I pulled out to overtake, and she sped up deliberately, and made it really, really difficult for me to get past, and she was sticking her finger up at me again. And I thought, what the hell is going on? I thought, a poor elderly mother must be petrified in there. I did manage to overtake her, and then got to the village, and I slowed down to 30 as you do, and she was right at my arse, raging in my rearview mirror, like gesticulating and shouting. And I was like, what the fuck, man? And again, why would she do that? I could have been some real awful dude and got out of the car and kicked the shit out of her, but she just lost her mind in the moment. And it's weird how people think that when they're in their car they've got some kind of protection, that they're secure in their metal box, that nothing's going to happen with them, and they can act in this outrageous manner. It's really bizarre. But I do have a good story to counter that. Which didn't happen to me, but happened to a friend. In fact, I think I might have recounted this story before on the channel, so maybe I shouldn't. So, oh well, people might not have heard it. So I'll tell it quickly. I had a friend called Big Bob, who was 6'8" or 6'7", can't remember, and he used to drive a Fiat 126, and a Fiat 126 is a tiny little car. I used to have one myself. He used to be able to drive it from the back seat. It was so small, and he was so tall. And he was going through the drive-through at McDonald's one time, and there were some lads in front at the window, and they were messing about, and they hadn't pulled forward, so he popped his horn to get them to go forward. And oh no, that's not true. Sorry, I misremembered that. He was going through the drive-through, and someone came out of the restaurant itself and walked right in front of him and caused him to slam his brakes on, and he kind of popped his horn at them, and they had a full milkshake in their hand, and they threw it at his windscreen, and it just exploded all over his windscreen, this vanilla milkshake and covered it. And then they were giving it the big Billy bollocks. Come on then, mate, what are you going to do about it? In front of his car, not knowing that Bob was this man mountain of a man. Sweetest guy, totally placid, but yeah, you wouldn't want to mess with him. And so Bob opened the door and unfurled himself out of this car, and it looked for all intents and purposes like a clown car with him exiting it. And he looked me in his shit. And the guy who threw the milkshakes, I'm sorry mate, I'm sorry mate, I'm sorry mate. And Bob made him take his jumper off and clean the milkshake off of his car, and wouldn't let him go until he'd done it. It was absolutely hilarious. I was behind him, we'd gone there. Where the hell am I? We'd gone there in a bit of a convoy. It was a bit of a meeting point when we were young, this drive through. So we were behind him as this happened. We were just absolutely wetting ourselves. That guy got his comeuppance. Lovely, lovely riding. Where shall we go? Shall we go straight on? Let's go straight on. Are you going to pull out or are you going to stay there? Again, just going back to that guy who pulled out on me, it's good to ride defensively, because I was watching him to make sure that he wasn't going to pull out of there, and he did, but obviously I was prepared so I could slam the brakes on. It's definitely something that you have to practice when you're on a bike, isn't it? You have to ride very defensively, you have to ride like everyone's out to kill you. Which is not something you have to worry about so much in a car, is it? I think I'll call it a day on this one. It's nice to be back. Hopefully the next one will be less expletive laden and dangerous. And I'll have something more to talk about. Okay, if you're out and about on your bike, as always, ride safely, kids. Take it easy, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.